Good morning, everyone. We're continuing with our Merging with Śiva series. And we're in chapter 24, entitled The Universe of the Mind, drawn from the Master Course 1967, with some additional material from 1970. Then we're starting with a reference back to material we covered last time. What the text said was, because he is unaware of the higher states of mind, the average man may harbor his awareness deep in a subconscious state of suffering over the past for long periods of time, thereby completely ignoring his superconscious intuitive flashes when they come. Definitely, that's not desirable state of mind. And it brought to my mind Gurudeva's idea in Shimcheif language of awareness being divided. So I chose two of the, no, we have all four. Four of the states of divided awareness. So Insaf, awareness divided into two compatible areas of the mind while being fully aware of both. 2, having something in the back of one's mind. 3, it is a desirable state to master, having awareness in two areas, especially beneficial while working within the third dimension of the mind. So that's good. If we purposefully divide our awareness into two areas, such as we're driving the car and talking, but we're paying attention adequately to driving, that's okay. You know, we don't have to just drive the car without talking. That can be rather boring for a long trip. So that's okay. And the positive, as Gurudeva says, it's the desirable state to master. But we don't want to be in that state without choosing that state. In other words, if we're washing dishes and just thinking about the past in a fairly random way, that's not what we want. We're not productively utilizing both states of mind. So both states of mind should be being utilized in a positive way in order for Insaf to be desirable. Insaf. 1, awareness divided into 3 or more separate areas of the mind, both conscious and subconscious. 2, individual awareness in a confused state, which brings an uncomfortable feeling, mental pain. The state of Insaf causes the body to stiffen up so that Hatha Yoga is difficult. 4, the purification of sitting in the lotus posture in itself dissolves much of this state of Insaf. So that clearly is, we're getting into a division that's undesirable. We're in a confused state of mind. And that's caused by having lots of unresolved issues going on. From the distant past, the recent past, and all the mind's kind of consumed with unresolved situations. So that's how you can avoid it, is by resolving things. Then we get the really messed up ones. Indulge. 1, subsubconscious confusion. 2, awareness stuck in the state of Insaf. Awareness divided into 3 or more separate incompatible areas. 3, the subconscious overpowering the conscious mind with no help at all from the superconscious. 4, individual awareness in the consciousness of the lower nature. 5, awareness stuck in confusion leading to lying and theft for the sake of it. Then we get the most confused. Indulge. 1, awareness completely divided into 3 or more confused areas of the mind. 2, being totally condemned and indulged. and believing that this is all there is in life. Individual awareness in the consciousness of the lowest of the lower nature. So that's a beautiful study and shows where people can be in consciousness. And the simple idea of utilizing a divided state of consciousness, two areas at the same time, can be quite positive if we've chosen those areas in a productive way. Go back to the text with some finishing up the new material. There are many mystics in the world today who have had no formal training and seem to unfold inwardly very rapidly by learning about the 5 states of mind, how to distinguish one from another, and how to move awareness within them consciously and systematically. They are participating in and enjoying some of the benefits of being able to experience step by step direct cognition of the 5 states of mind. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, sub of the subconscious mind, subsuperconscious mind, and superconscious mind. There is but one mind, and in its functioning, it works the same in everyone as an autonomous, interrelated, self-perpetuating mechanism. So one person's mind isn't different from another. It's basically the same structure. It's like the physical body has 2 arms and 2 legs. So the mind has 5 parts to it. Concentrate upon that mind. Find out what that mind is. Observe your thoughts, feelings, and actions from within. And know that your mind is yours to use to the extent that you control the mind with the will. Why must you study the mind? Because understanding alone is 50% of the control of the mind. This understanding is necessary to impress the subconscious deeply enough to secure awareness, so that spiritual strength continues to come from within, from the superconscious through the subconscious. Before we can meditate, we have to know our way around within the mind. What part of you understands how the mind works? It is your superconscious. The subconscious can't understand how the mind works because it's the repository. The subsubconscious can't understand, it's a collective repository. Your conscious mind can't understand either, for it is opinionated knowledge looking at the world through the eyes of others. Only the superconscious and subsuperconscious can conceive how the mind works. And then we get my commentary. Really, we use the word cognition. So let's take a look at cognition. What exactly is cognition? Our lexicon defines cognition as knowing, perception, knowledge reached through intuitive, superconscious faculties rather than through intellect alone. So knowledge reached through superconscious faculties. In Gurudeva's explanations of the padas of Saiva Siddhanta, he equates cognition with jnana. Jnana, of course, is the 4th stage of Charya, Kriya Yoga, and jnana. However, within each of the 4, there is a jnana stage. This means there is jnana in Charya, jnana in Kriya, jnana in Yoga, and jnana in jnana. Take, for example, jnana in Charya. Jnana in Charya refers to the experiences of direct cognition that a devotee has as a result of his or her practice of the disciplines of Charya. Self-evident, right? We're practicing the disciplines of Charya, and we have an insight by practicing those disciplines, and that's called jnana in Charya. Makes sense. Gurudeva gives this insightful statement about the jnana stage of each of the 4 padas. The first sadhana, therefore, is to always hold the overview and cling in your memory to the intuitive flashes that come as a result of your practices. These intuitive flashes come from deep within and are the only thing that should be remembered. For this is your jnana, your own wisdom breaking through. So we get some quotes from Yogaswami to show how he looked at it. The book is within you. Turn over the leaves and study. Don't read books. It is in you. It must come from within. Don't rely on book knowledge. Trust the self alone. Then we get some story about that. Yogaswami referred to cognition, jnana, as inner orders. So here's some material on that from Guru Chronicles. Yogaswami worked intuitively, responding to those who came according to inner orders. In explaining this process, he once said, I do nothing. I can do nothing. Everything you see, that is done by what comes from within. Another time he said, when you come here, what will happen was settled long ago. You go through it, you bring it, but it all happened long ago. Sit and be a witness. Swami explained the process. When you are pure, you live like water on a lotus leaf. Do what is necessary, what comes to you to do, then go on to the next order you receive, and then to the next that comes. He advised, boldly act when you receive orders from within. You need not wait until all the details are in order. If you wait for everything to be worked out, you may miss your chance. Sounds like Gurdeva. Gurdeva's approach to everything. Got to do it now. Don't want to miss our chance. Have faith and do the work that comes from within. Money will trail after you if you are responding to divine orders. Helpers will come. Everything will come. You have only to follow carefully that which comes from within. When asked how to find one's inner voice, he said, Suma Yuru, be still, and what you need will come to you. Suma Yuru was his constant command. He practiced it and heeded the answers that came. Someone would ask him a question, and he would wait to feel his orders. If he felt no orders, he would do nothing until orders came. Once a man drove up to Swami as he was walking through town and asked if he could drive him anywhere. No orders, Swami replied and waved the man on. A few minutes later, the driver came by and stopped again. Now I have my orders, Swami said and got into the car. Gurdeva also stressed the superiority of inner superconscious experience over outer intellectualization. Quote, having never read a book from cover to cover in my life and having been trained from very early years, 16 or 17, to have the experience first and then somehow or other it would be verified by scripture later on, this was my path. I was told that to know what was coming up in the experiential pattern of spiritual unfoldment could be to put into the subconscious mind the experience and memories of it, which would not be the experience at all. This, I was taught, would build a spiritual pride that would detour one from the path to self-realization. Very carefully I observed this, fully understanding the wisdom of the advice. In other words, on that last one, if you know exactly what you're trying to experience intellectually before you've experienced it, you may not actually experience it. That's what Gurdeva is saying. You may just be experiencing the intellectual concept of it that you put into your subconscious. So it's better not to know exactly what it is. Then you can ask someone, I experienced this. Is that what it should be? That's what Gurdeva is saying. Have a wonderful day.